Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5%.
But as for the rest of the Yankees playoff roster, I do expect the Jorge Posada to be on the roster, and I expect the DH versus righties to be switched off maybe between games, between Montero, Posada, and even Eric Chavez, as all of them have hit very well off righties.
I mean, like, for him to get a start off righties, let's say in the outfield or something. Andrew Jones, obviously, against lefties with the DH type. But I don't see Jorge Posada making this Yankee roster for the postseason, much as Joe Girardi wants it, because question is room. When you look at that at the bench right now, it's going to be Eduardo Nunez, probably Eric Chavez. You would say, man, that might be the only gray area that he might not make it. And maybe Posada would make it over him, but Chavez has been strong. And the bullpen, all those guys that we mentioned, they've all had strong seasons with ERAs around 3 or under. So they got to make it, and probably Colon or Phil Hughes would make it. And it would either come down to Phil Hughes, Bartolo Colon, or Eric Chavez for Posada's spot.
Right. Make a very good point. But what one, it's more being biased towards just Posada as a player and how, he's been the member of the core 4, now the key 3, as I like to say, of the Yankees' last dynasty in the 90s. And as much as we've heard Girardi having feuds with Posada and still having a grudge over him taking his catcher's job in 1998, I would expect Posada to be on the roster just for the sole reason that he is the veteran and he has postseason experience. And when you have like last night's game, if you have Austin Romine up, let's say in the playoffs, or Jesus Montero against Jonathan Papelbon, who are you going to send up? You send up Posada, who's hit off him before in the playoffs, or are you going to keep the rookie in who, in all likelihood, wouldn't succeed? So I wouldn't be surprised if I see Posada on the roster just because of his postseason experience.
But the thing is that the Yankees have so many DH catching first base types on that roster. If you have Eric Chavez on there, that gives you a little bit more flexibility, since he could probably get a start at third base if Alex is not ready with his injuries, or maybe Alex could DH or something. Plus, Chavez has that postseason experience we're talking about. If you remember, he was on those Moneyball A's teams in the early 2000s, so he could give the Yankees a lift as well.
Yeah, definitely. Eric Chavez, absolutely. He is a big part of the Yankees bench. Overall, the Yankees postseason roster, I think, it won't affect them whether Posada is on it or not. I think, Yankees postseason roster, they have a deep enough bench, and they have a deep bullpen, have a great lineup. Just trying to wrap this video up here, as it's a pretty long video. I really like the Yankees in the American League right now, especially considering how the Red Sox are doing right now, and they might not even make the playoffs, and that the Rays, although with their good pitching, if they can't score, they won't win. So, I know they have Verlander on the Tigers, and the Rangers with that powerful lineup, but the Yankees have power in both pitching their lineup, and I would not be surprised if the Yankees are back in the World Series in a month from now.
There's only one team that I think would get in the way of the Yankees, and that would be the Tampa Bay Rays in a short series, because of their rotation, how well they match up with the Yankees. When you look at it, David Price against CC Sabathia, you got Jeremy Hellickson against Ivan Nova. James Shields would go up against Freddie Garcia. You would probably have to give the edge to the Rays in that matchup. Plus, Desmond Jennings has emerged. Evan Longoria is starting to swing the bat a little bit better. And in a short series, especially with the way Joe Madden manages, that could be a really tough series for the Yankees if they have to face them in the LCS if the Rays win wild card, of course.
Right, and the Rays would be a tough team to beat, and right now it looks like the Rays could possibly win the wild card in all likelihood, the Red Sox and Rays will be tied after tonight, and it's very interesting to see who makes the playoffs. And if the Red Sox do end up winning, I expect them to get eliminated in the division series just because they don't have the pitching. As ironic as it is to say about them, they were saying that about us in the beginning of the season. They don't have enough pitching, and really, the way they've been playing, I can't expect them to just turn it on like that and all of a sudden just go out there and play like the Red Sox we thought they'd be.
We mentioned in the open that the Red Sox were 5-16 going into play tonight in the month of September. They have really struggled this month. Their pitching is not up to par. Clay Buchholz got injured. John Lester is one of their few certainties there. Josh Beckett just came back from an injury. And right now, the Red Sox rotation, who do you really trust out there? It's just Beckett, Lester, maybe Eric Bedard. I mean, you're starting a couple of rookies out there. And it's no surprise, especially with the way the Red Sox bullpen has blown leads for them, why they're in this predicament right now. I cannot see this team making the postseason. I know it's a little bit early to judge that. I guess we have to wait till Thursday to really know the verdict about it.
Right.
But I can't pick the Red Sox right now. And before we check out, why don't we talk about the National League playoff chances with some of the ball clubs there?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think everyone immediately, when we talk about National League playoffs, you immediately click and you say the Phillies. And that dominant rotation, that resurged lineup that, although has a lot of veterans on there, they are still producing. Ryan Howard having a great second half. Chase Utley, Jimmy Rollins. You can't ignore their lineup as well. But, of course, their dominant pitching. I see them winning the National League. I'm almost certain. But at the same time, there are other teams with some good pitching as well and some good hitting that will give the Phillies a run for their money. And we all remember how we thought the Phillies would no doubt go to the World Series last year, and then out of nowhere the Giants, with their young rotation, beat them in 6 games.
Well, this year the San Francisco Giants are not competing. But another team that was supposed to have the pitching that was actually in the same division as Philadelphia Phillies was the Atlanta Braves. But just like the Boston Red Sox, they have collapsed through down the stretch of September. Going into play tonight, they only led by 1 game in the wild card over the St. Louis Cardinals. However, the Braves have missed 2/5 of their rotation with the injury to Tommy Hanson and Jair Jurgens. So they're in a hole because they have a lot of similar issues at some of these American League teams. Who would they start as a number 2 starter after Tim Hudson? St. Louis Cardinals right now, they're right behind the Atlanta Braves. They look like, they were going to make a run. They collapsed in 1 game last Thursday against the Mets where they had a 6-2 lead in the 9th inning, and the Mets scored 6 times against them. So they might be a little bit rough around the edges. You have the Milwaukee Brewers with their pitching, Ryan Braun and Prince Fielder in their last swan song. Looks like they're going to win the National League Central. They can make a run in this postseason. You got the Arizona Diamondbacks. They came out of nowhere this year. Nobody expected that team. They had one of the worst bullpens in baseball last year. Kevin Towers rebuilt that bullpen. Ian Kennedy, a former Yankee, Ian Patrick Kennedy, wins over 20 games this season. So the Diamondbacks, with their power and what they have, they could also make a run. So this is really going to be a fun postseason. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting, and the Yankees look much stronger than last year. I don't know about you, but I'm really confident in this Yankees team, and it's shaping up to be another great October.
I think this year is just so wide open. I think the Yankees do have a slight edge, but as they say, anything could happen. And I'm just looking forward to watching it and seeing how it unfolds. Hopefully it will be the Yankees' 28th world title. If not, back to the drawing board next season.
Oh yeah, and there's nothing better.
That's the great part about baseball. Just expect the unexpected. It's going to be a fun race.
Definitely, and there's nothing better than postseason baseball, whether your team's in it or not. It's just a fun thing to watch. And so, I think that will do it. Big Time Empire. It's been great. Expect more videos like these from us as the postseason continues. And we'll go all the way through the World Series, whether the Yankees are in it or not. And so, for Big Time Empire, I'm Yankees Run This Town. And we'll see you in our next video. And let's go Yankees. Let's get number 28 this year.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Time to say goodbye.